Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen, brought to you by Fine Life Realty. And now, here's your host, Nick Merrick.
Inside the Bullpen, we are here inside the NYTEX Sports Center. Nick Merrick, Chad Seward, Walt Ruff. It's another Brahmas edition here, and there's quite some home games coming on here in Brahmaland. 4 out of the next 5 weekends will be home games here at NYTEX. The one weekend in between the other 2 weekends is the off weekend, actually the only off weekend this Brahmas team has until playoff time, but they won't even have that. So it's their final off weekend of the entire season. There is some Texas Junior Brahma hockey over that weekend on March 4th and 5th, so you can still get your Brahmas fix. But we are rocking and rolling right away. I know the boys just came back from Corpus Christi. Some of the guys trickled in earlier this week from the Top Prospects tournament, and they did a great job there representing the boys in purple. But Chad and Walt, obviously, first thing, I have sadly had to miss the Corpus Christi trip that, Walt, I know you got to enjoy and broadcast, and the fans all enjoyed that. I enjoyed a chance to watch the feed and be able to listen to you, but reactions from Corpus from the first-hand perspective.
Well, I love the Corpus trip. I mean, I was very thankful that I got the opportunity to go down in November, and then this one, obviously, we had some things we couldn't control here with some folks in the organization, unfortunately, you and Amanda being sick, so I was like, you know what, I got to go for it. So I went down.
It's just some weird flu virus. It was bizarre. Just hit us instantly. Walt and I were texting, and it was like we were playing hockey, and it was like we were game time decisions, and Walt and I were texting up to the minute.
Yeah. When you texted me to say like you're going to be late to work or whatever one day because you're taking your buddy to the airport, he's sick. I was like, keep it in your car, keep it. And I'm glad you didn't come in.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Because you would have gotten Walt sick, and then we would have.
I would have gotten everybody sick. Yeah. Like I knew when I touched it, I'm like, this is not good. I mean, God bless you. My buddy Josh, he came in town for the weekend. He wasn't even with me. I was going to hang out with him on Monday morning before he had to go to the airport at like 2 p.m. And then, sure enough, missed his flight because he was sick as a dog. Just random. It just came on random, and the same thing happened with us. So, but anyways, that's enough about.
So Walt rolls down the middle of the night. Did you go in the middle of the night?
I left about
like
around
8 p.m.?
Around 8:30, yeah. I came over to Nick's, pick up the broadcast equipment around 8.
Yeah, we made the drug deal at 8.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Picked up a suitcase at 8:30, stopped for a coffee, and just got underway.
Forgot dress pants?
Forgot dress pants, realized that one around Austin, so I was about 3.5 hours in.
Shout out to Kohl's.
Shout out to Kohl's and shout out to Buc-ee's. Only place I stopped on the way down and on the way back was at Buc-ee's. And, yes, shout out to Kohl's. Went and basically just raided the Corpus Christi Kohl's on Thursday morning with Mark Reapy. Mark, thanks for dealing with me because I said it was only going for pants. Somehow wound up spending around $100. So, yeah.
Successful trip.
Yeah, pretty successful. It was awesome just from start to finish. I was very fortunate that, for the most part, I was able to complete 3 successful broadcasts. Had a little bit of a hiccup on Saturday night in the early going, but thank you to the American Bank Center production staff for giving us the heads up, and believe we only missed roughly 2 or 3 minutes of the first period, which, again, not the end of the world because luckily we got it figured out before the Brahmas struck for 2 or 3 on the first period alone on Saturday. Yeah, so it was an awesome trip. Got to do some things that I've never done before, such as going jet skiing and stuff, so it was awesome.
Jet skiing in the surf? In the Gulf?
Yeah, yep. There was actually a little small company, just some guy who owned a couple jet skis, and it was right below the Emerald Beach Hotel where we were staying, and Mark and I had the opportunity. We were like, you know what, neither of us have done this before. We may never get to do it again, so we cashed in. We rented them out for 15 minutes. We were just whipping around. I was pretty nervous for the first
15 minutes? That's like nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it felt like forever because I had no idea what I was doing. I got out there, was doing like 5-6 miles an hour. Then Mark starts wheeling circles around me, and then next thing you know, I'm doing like 35, and it's definitely a rush.
Are a blast.
Now, you grew up in Philly, so do y'all have jet skis up there?
No, I had never even had the chance to do it.
What about you?
I did, actually, in Minnesota.
Okay.
We went to them a few times in Minnesota.
Land of Lakes. Yeah, that's a big
blast.
Texas thing. Everybody's got a jet ski or knows someone who has a jet ski.
I tell Amanda all the time, like, that's dream goal right there. Only jet ski. Well, 2. You need 2. You can't just have 1. It's boring going by yourself.
For sure. It's fun to race. So 3 out of 6 points. How'd the boys look?
4.
4 out of 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah, I didn't do very well at math.
Yeah, no. Thursday night was an uncharacteristically rough start to the game. Again, the vibe was after the game that the team played well. They just couldn't beat McKay, who came up with a 30-save shutout. And then it was just the puck was glued to Carter Johnson's tape all night. He got, a pretty fortunate bounce off of a face-off in the first, call it good positioning in the second as well. And then, so not a whole lot of offense on Thursday night, but the vibe was that the team played well. We know they've struggled with the first game in series sometimes because of traveling on the same day. This was not an issue this time. Just I'm not a big fan of using the slogan, but it really just wasn't their game, and Corpus Christi had some great goaltending and some fortunate bounces on offense, and they came away with the victory.
Oh, see, that was my thought. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying we played well. We didn't score. Nobody scored on the team. I get it. Yeah, we played well. We ran the drills well and what we did. But, in my book, did we play well? I watched the game, too, on Fast Hockey. We did not play well. We looked flat. I didn't think we had many chances. So I get it. The boys want to stay positive, but you also have to kind of set reality and give yourself a kick in the butt in middle of February when playoffs are coming up and saying, was that a good performance, yes or no? If you won, even if you did win, it could be a bad performance.
Was it D scoring all? It was the D doing the heavy lifting,
yeah, on the
right?
weekend, the D had, 6 or 7?
Yeah, then moving forward, it was 6 of 7 from the D, and Johan Lundgren was the only forward to score. Granted, it was an awesome hookup from Marty Melberg, but yeah, the defense came to play. It was great to see, and some of the things that we always talk about with Jeff Potter is just defensemen getting pucks through from the point, and they all did it. Samu, Bud, Dalton, Clarkey, they were doing a great job of it, and it was great to see that paying off.
Well, they definitely do. And actually, I just looked at the stats. Bud Midday is now tied for the league with defenseman goals. He's at 10 on the season. And then obviously right behind him, Cam Clark scored plenty. Samu got a goal there. We know Skelly scored a ton. He was the defenseman of the month. Giles has gotten the offensive production as well. Estes loading on some assists. Zimmerman as well, and he's back from injury. Everybody can produce on the D, which is huge to have. But now it's going to be the challenge of what forward not named Berardinelli is going to score and get offense done. Maybe it will be that Lundgren-Melberg combination if they can kind of get more in tune as the year goes on, but it segues us right into the top prospects tournament.
Yes.
Berardinelli was fantastic.
Well done.
In that, I think he's going to be very close to committing. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I don't think Walt has either since he's been in Michigan. He just got back in Brahmaland today. But
he has options. We can say that.
Yeah. I think that's what everybody's understanding is, which is great. I mean,
it's not just one school waiting for him to sign.
No.
Now it's like, hey, wait a second, who's this guy?
Well, we heard the guys were even texting too, and they were like, yeah, he's been talking with some coaches for a while after the games, which obviously you're going to do that when you score a hat trick in one of the 2 games and you score the shootout. Well, one of the shootout goals, Melberg had the winner, so both Brahmas scored in the shootout.
Well, the hat trick came in the first half of the game, didn't it?
It did. It took 24 minutes and 56 seconds. The stretch from his first goal to his last goal, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty
all
nuts.
Before 2 periods. Also, all 5 Brahmas who were represented there in Skelly, Madej, Clark, Melberg, Berardinelli all had at least 1 point in the 2 days.
That's good.
So that's pretty good too. So obviously great showing overall. Berardinelli's 3 goals was the most at the tournament. So to give the fans an idea, there are 12 forwards per team times 6 teams.
Yeah.
So plus the D, I don't know. I guess you have roughly 20 players. There's about 110 skaters there, and he was the number 1 in scoring. He had a hat trick and then the shootout goal. So
it's like 20% of the whole league's there.
That's solid.
The top 20%.
The top 20%.
Yeah.
Of uncommitted players too.
Right.
Or at the time, because I guess Shodal played and he's going to Boone State. But besides the point.
So that's the point. The point is,
it was good.
Our guys did good.
It was a great weekend. We enjoyed all the fans who made it to Michigan, who were either there or traveled, posting pictures and sharing that with us. We appreciated that. The fans love that, clearly, as you see by social media. And then, obviously, we hope the Brahmas represent well next year. But back to business with the Robertson Cup.
Yeah. So had a couple more games here against Odessa this weekend. But before we get to that, remember we did this a while back, 3 things that were kind of bugging us. One thing apiece that's bugging us. Walt, we'll
Yes.
start with you. What's something bugging you within the league or organization right now?
I think I'm going to go with down Saturday night. It was pretty frustrating. The American Bank Center does not have an Ethernet port and or established Wi-Fi connection. So I was working on Saturday night's game without internet. That's just one of those, like, come on, man. I give credit to Corpus's broadcaster, Colin Chuck. He really did everything he could for me, and I thank him very much for that. He let me use the only reason I had internet on Thursday and Friday night was because the Corpus Christi Caller Times was not there, and their spot on broadcast row was directly beside me. So they were nice enough to hook me up with a long Ethernet cable. But I could not imagine doing 3 broadcasts in 3 days without internet. It's just kind of one of those things, like, you can prepare as much as you want, but then when it comes to something happening, like when Bud scores on the power play and you want to look up where he ranks in goals amongst defensemen, whether it's on the power play or not, and you don't have that capability to look that up, it's kind of frustrating. So, come on, man, to the American Bank Center. You are assumingly a multi-million-dollar arena with the best location in the league, but you don't have internet? Come on, it's 2016.
I agree. He did a great job. You didn't skip a beat. So, and a lot of people don't know, like the fans don't know what you guys are doing up there. If you're just like looking at YouTube videos while you're broadcasting or catching up on NHL Game Center or something, it's a constant. I mean, you guys are constantly looking up stats, right? You're jabbing away, talking about the play, and Walt's looking up, like you said, where so and so ranks with.
Well, yeah, it's always
this or
crazy.
that.
I feel like the normal routine is if obviously we both have the game, but let's say something crazy happens. Walt's fingers are right on Facebook, Twitter, and then while that's going on, he might pick up some comment I say in his ear while he's trying to focus on everything else. He's like, he just keeps that in his bank, and it's pretty impressive what he could pick up then too. It's just, I don't know, like, yeah, with Bud Madej, how he ranks in power play goal scoring on the season. Oh, well then while he's doing everything else and watching the game, he's trying to find out, oh, Jeff Baum's right ahead of him now, they're tied, and whatever.
Exactly, yeah. And that had happened. Bud scored on the power play, and Andrew McLean of Odessa and Jeff Baum of Wichita Falls had both scored the same night. So I had to look up how that shape-shifting it was because Baum scored first, then Bud scored. So probably for about 5-minute windows, they were tied for first, and then McLean scored, so I was having to do all the adjusting, but, whatever.
Like, we know what it is going into the game.
Right.
Just not during games.
Sure.
It's hard to get those in-game updates.
Well, so what's your thing? What's bugging you?
I don't know. I'll keep it nice because there's a couple of things bugging me, but one thing in general is professional hockey teams that do play-by-play on Twitter. That's just a no.
No.
Just don't do that.
Shout out Paul Teeple. We know you don't like it either.
Yikes. It's brutal. Paul Teeple with Bismarck Bobcats, by the way.
Or are they
for the
talking
fans.
about, like, you talking about, like,
No, just like
every pass, every hit,
yes.
Oh,
and fans wanted that on our Twitter, and we that's why we made the Brahmas Live, which has obviously been on and off since our intern schedule has been fluctuating throughout the year. But I mean, you just look in general at what you want on Twitter, you're going to lose people's interest if every time they go on their feed and they see, oh, Samantha tweeted this, oh, Brahmas tweeted 13 minutes to play, no score update, then Brahmas tweet again, oh, 15 seconds later, a good hit by Madej, 10 seconds after that, we got a partial chipped tooth by Oscar Andrin, and then whatever, then it rolls on.
So, yeah, okay. Well,
so
that's
no go to the teams. I see a couple of them still doing it. That's terrible. Stop it.
Stop it. Learn how to use Twitter.
Yes.
I don't use Twitter. I'm talking like I know. All right, well, the thing that is bugging me is something that bugged me before. It's the scheduling this year. It's the fact that we're coming down the stretch and we don't have Wichita Falls. We've
Agreed.
got Corpus and Odessa who are fighting each other for that last playoff spot, which is great. I mean, but we want to play the best. We don't want to go into the playoffs having played Odessa 15 times and 20 games.
True. Thank God we have Topeka for 4 more still, and they're all home.
Yeah, it's the end of February, and next weekend is the first time that Topeka's coming yet. We've already seen Amarillo 6 times here.
Oh, here, yes.
And Odessa will now be 6 after this weekend.
No, they've only been here for 2 games. We were there for 2 road trips.
It's like
regardless, you get the gist.
Yes.
You guys heard in the office today, we had shout out to Mr. Appliance, who was here.
Shout out.
Mr. Planzo's here fixing the dryer for Mark Reapy and the crew. Appreciate them for all that they do. And the funny thing is he asked if we ever played anybody besides Amarillo. Every game he'd been to was against Amarillo, and I agree. So
also shout out Keith Hendon. There's the drop for the day.
Fan of the year. Who's next? Time to start thinking about that.
We've been talking about the playoff pep rally, by the way, fans. It's we're going to try to finalize that probably in about a month or so. It's still some long time, but we literally just started talking about that. So exciting stuff. Brahmas can clinch 2 in a few weeks.
New segment, too. 3 things we're looking forward to.
All right, real quick. Let's go.
Scatter shooting. 3 things you're looking forward to. Walt,
don't start with me.
Oh, gosh. Let's do wow. Actually, I'm just ready for the stretch in general. Just 8 straight home games. Honestly, I like home games.
I'm going to go like one of 2 things here. 1, I should have a new suit for Friday night, and I'm pumped up about that. And 2, I'm looking forward to seeing Topeka next weekend because those have been good games, and I've only seen them via Fast Hockey, so I'm excited to see them here.
Yeah, true.
And then I guess for me it'd be the April 8th Blew Out Autism Night.
Oh, it's going to be huge.
The subsequent golf tournament on the 11th. Looking
100%.
forward to that. A lot of work going into that.
Away.
So, yeah, jamming
you
away.
And Lisa Deer, appreciate it all. We appreciate it all.
That'll be a fun way to end the year. In fact, that week we'll have, of course, the 2 games, which will be packed, the 8th and 9th. They always are at the end of the year. We'll have the golf tournament on Monday.
Yep.
And then a playoff pep rally will have to be some point.
Like right after that.
Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
Good week.
Yeah, that's when trading cards will be out for everybody who buys a playoff package.
Yes.
So
trading cards are back. Year 2.
It's a busy mamma jamma there. And hopefully we'll have home ice, which will mean home playoff games.
We're close. Those Topeka games that Walt we're excited for are a big factor in that.
Yeah.
As long as we're 2 or 1, we're home ice for at least first round. So.
Well, as long as we don't poop the bed, we should be there.
Okay, well, on that note, no more pooping beds. We will close the broadcast with a big old poop.
Yep.
So we thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Inside the Bullpen, and we will look forward to seeing you in Brahmaland in the coming weeks. We have home games against Odessa this weekend. Next weekend, home against Topeka. And then don't forget about March. It's spring break time, and lots of families are already getting tickets. You guys have to come get those tickets early, too, and they're going to be fantastic games in March. So 8 straight Brahma games at home. You are welcome on that note. Adios.
Bye, Mom.